Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Please don't forget to subscribe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blow the Whistle Sports. I'm your host, Wayne Holloway, and thank you once again for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. And like always, if you want to see something on this show or you have a bright idea that you want to see us implement on this show, drop them in those comments below or hit us on any one of our social media outlets. Holler at us, we holler back. We got a full show for you guys here today. But before we jump into that, let me introduce you to my co-host, and he goes by the name of Mr. Patrick Nagle. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you today, Wayne?
I'm good. After that show Monday, my head is still kind of hurting. I see this topic is going to be a tough topic to get through on these Mondays, but we got a few of them left, and we want to be fair. I want to hear everybody's comments about how they feel about sports, and do they feel that it's rigged? Sometimes it's rigged. We just want to hear your in general feeling about the subject, but I'm still not there.
No, listen, I always kind of view myself as a science guy, right? I need to see it, touch it, feel it to believe it type of guy. And I'm not sure that after Monday's conversation I'm any closer to accepting I felt like it was a bad episode of a sci-fi movie, but hey, it is America, to each their own, and
it is.
As long as you're not hurting anybody, it's all good. But it was interesting for sure, and I definitely I did spend a little time on the internet after, kind of sussing out some theories that were presented, and I came up with zero. So, clearly,
I'm still digging down that rabbit hole, but I'm on the same page with you, brother. On the same page. I mean, it's truly something else to see how just people think about things in general. Like, it's a Twilight Zone was a perfect example of being stuck on the island and somebody feeding you some information, and the information they're feeding you, you have to see it. You have to want to see it. I think that is the episode of Twilight Zone.
But, I never got the chance to ask, and I'm not sure I will, but if you want to believe something is a certain way, you can see anything to help prove your theory. But in the absence of actual evidence, you're just looking at things and saying, see, and it makes it hard for me because it's really hard to have a conversation about something conceptual or philosophical versus something that we all can debate on, whether or not, we all are looking at the same clip and you're saying he's in bounds and I'm saying he's out of bounds. And we can then, move the camera angle, and at the end of the day, we can come up with a consensus. But on this kind of stuff, there just is no consensus because, in my opinion, it just doesn't exist. And I will always go back to the same thing I say over and over and over again about any of these conspiracy theories, and that is, it is really hard to keep a secret amongst 2 or 3 people. It would be damn near impossible in today's day and age to keep a secret that would involve thousands of people.
Yes.
Somebody's going to talk. And
somebody's going to be pillow talking with the wrong person.
Of course, they're going to be
get offered money to come on Dr. Phil and expose.
Chatting up a honey at the bar, like trying to make time. I mean, all that. So, again, to each their own. But I'm not there. I'm not anywhere near there, and I'm always curious for people to present their opinions, and I'm happy to have the debate as long as we can stay civil and keep it about the subject matter and not personal. But that was a tough one for me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and here on Blow the Whistle Sports, we want to give everyone a chance to speak their mind. I can disagree with you and still be like, okay, that's for you. It's not for me. Vice versa, opinion versus opinion. But when you talk about something you want other people to believe, we want to deal in facts. not just opinions,
For
fact.
sure.
And that's where it gets kind of misconstrued, because as we get older, certain people live in their own worlds, and they at their households they make things facts that in everybody else's household doesn't hold a candle or doesn't even stand up to being a fact.
I think that's called alternate reality. But I mean, perfect good point. We're here to talk about sports and give each other a little good-natured ribbing. I mean, here we are,
Yes.
fans of two teams that are hated rivals in baseball, hated rivals in basketball, and but yet we sit
But
on
we come
here.
together in football.
We do come together in football.
Mano a mano, my brother, we are brothers in football. It's just when football season ends and the line is drawn in the sand, my Dodger hat comes out victorious once again.
Well, when you cheat and buy a championship by cheating the rules, it's all good. But that's okay.
It's starting to feel like Mondays. Cheating? Oh my goodness! But that's a perfect segue for the show today. Technology in sports, the use of replay.
Let's
And
talk about it.
this right here can bring all the arguments to an end, because if we see it and we understand it, and if you talk it through, can nobody have an issue?
For sure. And I think that, this is a much debated topic on sports radio and podcasts across the world on a semi daily basis. And
Yes.
usually it's when the call goes against your team that you feel you got jobbed. But,
Yes.
the use of technology, specifically for replay, is something that leagues, in my opinion, need to really embrace more and more, right? As 4K TVs into your home, we can often see the play better than the referee on the field, right?
Yes.
We're not having to run. We're getting super slow mo. Million zoom with incredible picture quality. We're seeing it better than they can.
Yes.
So the leagues need to continue to embrace technology. We're going to talk about the three major leagues: NBA, Major League Baseball, and football tonight. And all of them to some degree utilize the technology, but I think they can continue to enhance and improve. And I feel like there's some things that they've done really, really well, and I feel like there's some things that are still lacking a little bit, which then lead to the conspiracy theories of my team's getting jobbed, or the league office called down and said reverse that call, we want this other team to win. And I think that if the leagues continue to invest time, energy into utilizing technology to get it right on the field, because that's at the end of the day, that's what we all want, right?
Yes.
We want the call to be right on the field, no matter what it is. If they continue to invest the energy, the bandwidth, the dollars into the technology to get the best product, I think it will eliminate a lot of this. The game is rigged BS, in my opinion, that is bantered about. So, with that, let's start with basketball. So NBA has a replay system where, a coach can challenge. So they have a couple of challenges. If you win a challenge, you retain and you get a quote unquote a third challenge. And then on critical plays or scoring plays, the league office can review. Also, they review flagrant fouls for upgrade to potentially a flagrant 1 or a flagrant 2, resulting in ejection. So, Patrick's opinion, I feel like the NBA has started well. The process is working. Obviously, out of bounds plays, the opportunity to challenge is important. The opportunity for the league office to call down and reverse the direction is important to get it right. Who possesses the ball? When you start talking about challenging a foul, that becomes a little more difficult. But I do like the ability to challenge a foul call on the field or on the court. Um, so I like a lot of what the NBA has done with their challenge system and their replay system. What I don't like is the approximate foul rule, where they can go back and in the action of the play, they can go back to a certain point and say, approximate to the play, there was this other play that happened, and therefore, it undoes this thing over here. And what I don't like about that is it's not clear. I'm sure it's clear in the league office, but it's not clear to the average fan how far back they can go to evaluate that play to see if there's an approximate foul or an approximate play that happened prior to the action in question.
So you would like the referee to be able to explain it in real time, so everybody can know exactly what are they looking at and how did it change from what happened in this segment of the play to here. How exactly are you?
I guess there should be a limit as to how far back you can go, right?
Okay.
I mean, like you and I talked about this on another episode where we talked about offsides in the World Cup, right?
Right.
Whereas the play was allowed to continue, the goal is scored. They're celebrating, they're in the stands, people are running the field, it's pandemonium, and then like all of a sudden, seemingly 2-3 minutes later, whistle blows and the guy lowers the flag for offsides, and it takes away some of that momentum. I'd like to see, like, you can only go back like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. You can't go back 30 seconds away from the ball. It has to be, if it gets missed, it gets missed. I mean, but we need to like speed up the game. That's my opinion.
That's been a major problem with this having implemented these. Why they only get 2, then you get another one if you're right. Is they don't want to slow the game down.
Correct.
The game is locked into a specific time set, and they want to stick to their time set, not go over. And if we scrutinize every single thing that you see, the game would take it would take people out of the game.
No, for sure, and no, I agree with that. I like quick reviews. I actually, in my humble opinion, I'm not even sure the referee on the court needs to be involved, right? I just think the referees in Secaucus, New Jersey, looking at all they can just buzz down and say it's Lakers ball. Let's play on. We don't need to go over to the screen and review it and get out. Stand up the TV. Everyone stands around. And I to me, I'm good with the referees away from the yelling, screaming fans and the coaches and all that in a hermetically sealed room, just being able to say, it's Lakers ball, or that was a flagrant, or move on. I think that would speed up the game. I'm not saying the referees at courtside don't need to be involved. They can be on headsets like in Major League Baseball, but they don't need to be looking at a screen. I mean, they can.
And where does the call stand with? Can the refs that's in real time there, can they say no, they don't agree to something because of proximity, or the people calling in have more power than the rest that's at the game?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. I would have to go back and research that as to, at the end of the day, who makes the ultimate call. My assumption with and this is, I use that word assumption based on the fact that the referees in the building are looking at a screen and talking. I'm assuming that the referee on the court has the final say in the game.
Right.
And I'm not opposed to that either. I'd like to see it a little quicker. I don't think we need to run over and flip up the screen and have all these things. If you're seeing it live,
we have, they should have something that's portable, that's instant, that only takes a minute and a half or something. That I think that's what you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, you see that in college football, right? The little guy runs out there and he's holding the little thing, and it's very quickly reviewed and they move on. In baseball, also. For a while when they were experimenting with review, the little guy came out with the screen. Now they've switched it, and I think baseball's rules have gotten pretty well where you get a challenge. You know, New York rules on it, and and the umpires on the field, they're watching the screen like everybody else in the stadium, and New York makes the ruling, and that's it.
And I like baseball because baseball has pretty much nailed it. Basketball has come a long way because, basketball, we used to have a bunch of phantom calls and people were pissed off. And now we're able to go back, pinpoint it, look at it and be like, okay, see, that was wrong. And it's evolving. It's evolving, but it's evolving in a great way.
I agree. I like baseball this year, with the experimentation of, you get to challenge a couple ball or strike calls. I like that as well. I like that it's quick. I mean, you make the decision to challenge, and that's up on the screen, and it's decided. There's no is it not?
Mm-hmm.
It's computerized. It's upheld or it is overturned, and if it's overturned, you retain that challenge, and the game moves on. I mean, what the average length of a baseball ball and strike review is, I want to say less than 3 seconds. It's very quick. So I'm excited for that. I think that's a good addition. I'd like to see baseball expand out its ability to fair or foul on non-home runs, right? You can review a home run fair or foul, but a double down the line, you can't. If it's called foul on the field, you can't review it that it was fair. And I think that's a mistake. I think players need to be taught to play it out, run it out. And I think that you should be able to challenge whether or not that ball was fair or foul.
Makes sense.
I think that's important. I think it's a good use of the replay though in baseball. And I feel like it's come a long way to get it right on the field, which is of course the ultimate goal for any sport. So, anyone in the chat or anyone wants to reach out to us on any of the socials, I'd be curious your feelings on the use of the ABS automatic balls and strike system. For those who don't know what ABS stands for, it's not all wheel braking system, but has it worked? Has it not worked? Are you a fan? Not a fan? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. I'm a fan.
Drop in the comments. Let us know. I'm gonna be real. We were going over this, and we know what the real problem is. In basketball, it's getting there. It's evolving. It's taking a long time to evolve for us to get here, where referees, it's not just in referees' hands anymore. Baseball, they're spot on. The real culprit here, and you know it and I know it, is the NFL.
It is.
NFL, it's been so many years, and they've come a little ways. They have the technology, but Patrick, we gotta call it like we see it. It's been too many times we're seeing calls. We can see that you were wrong. Good point. Our team was playing a playoff game, I believe, where they said that our running back who caught the ball, who was wide open to run up the field, that the ball went out of bounds. They said it. They never came back and apologized for saying it. It was Rico Dotto. He had caught the ball. Bryce threw him the ball. He caught the ball, and they blew the whistle. He dropped the ball, and as we sat and watched him catch the ball never touching the ground, he caught it cleanly. They said that the ball went out of bounds, and I think we did the play over or whatever happened.
Yeah, they did a redo.
Was it a redo?
Yeah, they redid it. They redid the play, which they should never do. It's either yes or no. It's not. It's not.
But why would you call it? Why would you say the ball was out of bounds?
I don't remember why the ref said that, but you're right about the lack of the use of replay in the NFL now.
But they're using it and still getting it wrong.
They're using it
game where The wide receiver catches the ball. He catches the ball. He completes the catch, goes down to the ground. The man flips over, yanks the ball out, but his back was completely on the ground. We watch it on instant replay in slow motion. We watch it in live. They said that it was an incomplete pass. There's just certain plays that stand out to me, and it's not just one team. It goes across the league.
Listen, the NFL is a sport where because of the length of the field, 100-yard field, and the width and the speed of the athletes playing, the speed of the game now, it's very difficult for that refereeing crew to cover every play. And I'm not making excuses. I'm just giving everybody the reality, right? You can't, those guys are running fast. You're running to keep up with the play.
Clearly, the guys are faster than you.
They are. In most cases, they are. So there's a lot of plays. We could probably come up with 30 to 40 plays every year that are just blatantly missed. And that replay doesn't help. And I feel like of all the major sports, football has the longest to come to utilize the technology that exists to get the plays right on the field.
My goodness.
And one of the things that I think would be really helpful for the NFL would be to adopt the UFL, United Football League, rules of replay. And that is that obviously in the UFL, the referee watching the game has an ability to buzz down to the field and say, hey, something happened there. That's not right. We need to look at that.
Yes.
But also that where this would help the NFL out by leaps and bounds is that in the UFL, if they're challenging a play, you, the viewer at home, can hear the conversation happening between the referee on the field and the referee in the box watching the game. And you now know exactly what they're looking at, which removes all confusion, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm looking at his knee, so now you're like, wait a minute, was his knee down or was his knee not down? Now you're focused when you're watching the replay on the thing that the referee is watching. So, and they're going through step by step, incrementally, if it's the process of a catch, did he have possession? Did he make a football move? Did he get 2 feet down or one knee down? Was he touched? Was he, all those things are happening. They're talking about it and you're listening and you're watching the replay along with them and you're seeing it and you're saying like, okay, yes, overturn it or no, keep it the same on the field or it's inconclusive, which stays with whatever's on the field. But at least you are hearing the conversation.
You get to go through it with their process of elimination, their process, the way they're looking at it. And also the main thing is their perception. Because when you're on the field, the way we watching it on our couch and they're on the field, perception is everything. Because to us, when it's in that slow motion, it looks like he had the ball for a long time. But on the field, it looks like it might have been a split second where it wasn't a catch to him.
For sure. And that's why when they watch replays, they watch it in both slow-mo and real time, right? To remove that aspect of the thing. But so, NFL, I think can learn a lot of lessons here. The NFL, it needs to stop being so arrogant to think that it does everything right all the time, because it's a great league. They do a lot right, but the truth is they don't do everything right. And, this other football league over here, listen, the whole kickoff thing, those who don't know, the new kickoff rules came from the UFL. So, it's not like we can't learn from other leagues. We should learn from other leagues because if it works, let's use it. Let's utilize it. We want the best product on the field. We want the call to be right on the field.
Yes.
Even if it goes against your team, you want to be right. You want the call right because at the end of the day, you don't want to walk away from the game and say the NFL didn't want us to win. They called down, they screwed us, and that's what fuels the fire for like the guys on our guest on Monday.
Yes.
Is that if that's all removed and then you're hearing them,
you hear
them talk about it and you're like,
they're right. in that moment, yeah, I understand where you see it right then, but it's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of moving parts. You got to be an open-minded person, and you got to be sensible. You can't, when you're trying to feed a narrative to some people, you can't you can't see something and try to run with it and make your point just off of the one segment of what just happened.
And we have this such amazing technology in today's world. Like, I'd like to see sensors in the football, right? You
I love
know, did it cross the first down? Like, a light should go off. Did it cross
Yeah.
the goal line? A light should go off. To assist the referee that it did or did not cross. I mean, those types of things should be added to the things that you can utilize technology to improve upon.
We've had that technology for so long. That should have been implemented so we know that it's actually a first down.
Well, it's like the tush push, right? I mean, where in there you can't see the ball. So, the referees are, I don't want to say going blind, but there has to be, they're using some guesswork in there. You can't see through the 2,000 pounds of humanity in there. So, like, what are you making a call on? Like, well, I think the ball is here, I think the ball is there. I don't, I want to remove the I thinks, and I want to get it to, no, the ball crossed the line, or no, the ball didn't. And that's the end of the conversation. I it's never going to be perfect, but I feel like there's lots of ways to utilize existing technology, improve technology to make the game closer to perfect and strive for perfection. One of my best favorite quotes in the whole wide world from Vince Lombardi is, I expect and demand my teams to be perfect, knowing full well that perfection is inachievable. But if we strive for perfection every day, maybe we'll catch excellence along the way. And that's what we're talking about here is, can we catch excellence, and can we get the best product and make the right call 99% of the time, so that you remove the doubts, the conspiracy theories, the Monday morning letter to the team saying, oops, we blew it.
Yeah.
Which is not worth the piece of paper it's printed on. I'd almost feel like, why even send that out?
That's a slap in the face after everybody's going crazy on the field.
Yep.
You could have looked at the replay and everybody makes mistakes. Replay is there for a reason. You could have looked at it and saw that you made a huge error. There was no need for us to get to Monday and the letters to go out, and then the game is in the books and people feel cheated.
And no recourse. The game is in the books and no recourse. Yes, we know we blew it. Yes, we know we made a mistake, but sorry, there's nothing we can do. That's the problem. Like, it's like, you cost me a game. You cost that coach's job. You cost, you cost a lot of people a lot of things, and your answer is sorry. Oh, so sad. My bad. Like, no, that's not going to get it done. We need to be better than sorry.
Exactly.
We can't have that happen. And we got to be better.
Oh, shout out to Glenn White. That's one of our guys from Carolina right there. What's up? How you doing, sir?
Well, there he is. Look at that. He's so excited. He supped us twice.
Hey, I know he's over there going crazy with all the stuff going on in training camp over there.
Too many injuries, man. Too many injuries.
Oh, man. But this technology thing, it's evolving, but the NFL's moving at a snail's pace when we say about evolve, because the thing with the sensors in the footballs, I've said that for years now. That's minor. Even if you started it off at the goal line on both goal lines and seeing how the technology worked and then expanded it to the 10, the 20, the 30, 40, 50 on both sides. You know what I mean? Start somewhere. But start.
What's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't work. We're no worse off than we are now, right?
Exactly. And, with the way they interchange these fields, moving from a baseball field to a football field, get turf, grass, and they lay it out where it just looks beautiful every Sunday. It's very simple. Very, very, very simple. Oh man. Speaking of injuries, we want to talk about some significant injuries going around the league.
Unfortunately, as our good friend Glenn White just put up there are a lot of panic attacks coming out of Carolina right now. Um, Nick Gordon lost for the season on the second day of training camp, and now our third round rookie hurts his knee. Although the news could have been worse, it's only an 8-week injury, but he's going to miss significant time. There's a couple other players throughout the league that are being put on the PUP list and not able to play. And I know in today's day and age, we're being a little more careful, but it is some panic times in Carolina for sure. That's two pretty significant injuries in the course of a week, basically. That's going to hurt us. But we do play in a week and 1 day from tonight. They will be playing football, and hopefully they only put out players that I've never heard of, so that none of them can get hurt.
I expect that. Our starters shouldn't even be suiting up, right?
No, they won't. They're going to start Haynes King probably, and quarterback and undrafted rookie, and we're going to be looking at a bunch of undrafted free agents, and then they should. Let's get them a chance to see what they got.
Yes, let's get these wide receivers out there.
Let's see.
Next man up.
Well, they signed a guy today, Washington, who was on Atlanta last year, and they apparently the big rumor out of Snead, the undrafted rookie Snead, is really lighting it up in training camp so far. So let's see. Also, big notes out of Carolina training camp is that Xavier Legette looks phenomenal.
Yes.
He looks very fit, and he's making plays all over the field. So I'm excited for that. Jimmy Horn Jr. made a couple big plays yesterday in camp. We're getting closer to football, which is most important for any of us that love the game. But it's a scary time this time of year in football, because you don't want and this is what makes it so you don't ever want to put your starters on the field in preseason at all, even though the product in week 1 sometimes isn't that great because they haven't played at all, but you don't want them to get hurt. And this is, and Carolina's living that right now. We won't be the only team.
I tried to be quiet, but it's hit the fan. Normally when these teams are on the Netflix specials, and they're doing a documentary before the season starts, it's always some BS like this. Always something happening. That's why when they say we was playing a Hall of Fame game, I didn't want to speak it into existence. Just the little quirky injuries. These are injuries. We're not even supposed to see these people till next season.
Yeah. Ricky Pearsall got hurt in 49er camp today as well. So
the Saints player got hurt also today. What's his name? Brian Brees.
Yeah,
he suffered a torn ACL.
Yeah,
so it's happening all over the league.
So he's out for the year as well.
My goodness.
Well, I mean, we can dive deep into it in another time, but this is what happens when people push the human body past its breaking point, and you can make the muscles as big as you want, but those ligaments and tendons are only so good.
Stretch them. Those are muscles too. You got to stretch them. You got to take time with them. You got to warm them up. Yeah, I know when we were young, we used to be able to just hop up like rubber bands and run all over the place. But I asked you, because you broke the news to me first about the first injury before Brazel. Yes. And I was, what are they doing in training? This non-contact, what training are they doing for this to happen?
Well, he was cutting around the tackling dummy when his knee went out, Nick Gordon. So, that's just a freak accident. There's nothing you can do there. I mean, it's going to happen. It happens to every team, and it's going to happen to a lot of people. Look, we got 7 canvases there. Go Panthers, baby.
Oh yeah. Let me see.
Keep pounding. Keep pounding.
Trying to see what else is going on around the league. We talk about Brees.
Well, we can,
Tua and Michael Phoenix Jr. is out also.
Well, Penix hasn't played yet, and Tua's out with a back injury. So,
Wow.
So, they say that Tua's injury is not that bad, but with his injury history, what does not that bad mean? And, but they also said that Tua is looking like he's going to be the starter in Atlanta.
Oh, my goodness. Look, I like Tua, but there's a point when your body's had so many injuries, and his injuries came off early. You've already gotten the so-called bag. Is it worth it?
That's that apex predator, man. I got to keep going. But listen, I want to correct something you said. I liked Tua, but now that he's in my division, I hate his guts, and I want him to throw a pick every time he drops back. So I just want to keep it a buck and say I don't want that guy to ever do anything good as long as he's wearing that uniform.
Well, and some good news. Eagles make Jalen Carter the highest paid defensive tackle with the 4-year, $152 million extension. Woo!
Do you think he's got that spitting problem taken care of, or?
Hey, and that was another thing that replay showed us. Remember, he was like what? Like, I didn't do anything.
What are you talking
you guys
about?
Gotta be. You're just picking on me.
Yeah, he got paid. I mean, listen, the man's a great player. I mean, Vita Vea wants to get traded out of Tampa Bay. I'd love for him to come to Carolina. The odds are slim and none. They'll trade him within the division, but I would love that. Baker hasn't been paid. He's not happy. Jacoby Brissett, he got paid in Arizona, so he's happy. It's starting to be that time. But the most important news of the day, though, I'm going to have to interrupt you there, is the San Francisco Giants today won 16-3, and I think that's important.
Okay, San Francisco Giants. There you guys go. Woo. Hey, you got to take those W's when you can. When you can, you got to take those W's.
Well, they have been few and far between this year, so I have to really,
I had to give it up to you because I gave you the business the first game of the season when you guys did. Like, what's going on? But
it was a precursor for what was going to be a very long season. But hey, we won 16-3 today, and Daniel Susac hit his first and second career home run, so good for him.
But man, technology in sports, bringing it all to an end. We love it. We want it to evolve more, especially in the NFL. Baseball's got a hold of it. Couple little tweaks we want them to do. Basketball, you're on the right track, but NFL, Mr. Goodell, please, let's get it together. Please redefine what is a catch for us, please. Please. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Hey.
The more they define it, the more I don't know what a catch is.
And you guys, please like, subscribe, and share. Tell a friend, tell another friend. We're going to host some contests. We're putting our minds together to get our subscribers up because we want to get all this information out to all you fanatics around the world. Blow the Whistle Sports, we're coming to you guys to give it to you from our point of view, our opinions, because our opinions matter, because we're the ones that put the money out there. We're the ones that put the butts in the seats. Blow the Whistle Sports. Pat, you want to say something before we get up out of here?
Nah, I just want to say it's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you always for having me, and to our watchers, viewers, fans, subscribers, all out there. It's fun, but it's even more fun when we can go back and forth with y'all. So I always look forward to comments, emails. I always learn a little something from people different. If there's something you'd love for us to tackle and talk about that we're not tackling or talking about, let us know. because there's sports out there that maybe we're not even tackling or touching that I know about a lot of sports I don't talk about. Like we talked a little bit about NHRA last week. I'll be at the Indy race in Portland, not this coming up weekend, but the following weekend. If there's anything y'all want to know about behind the scenes at that race, by all means, reach out, let me know.
Oh, most definite. And you can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Kick, and Instagram. Go to all our social media, subscribe, like, and share. We'll see y'all next Monday, 7 p.m. And it's going to be a juicy one and a weird one also. We'll see you guys. Peace out.